Well, I've been critical of Prochazka, and it's not his unorthodox approach. It was his maybe perceived lack of defense, and that was much improved. And I truly believe that that was the difference maker in this fight. He has improved as a fighter. His movement looked a lot better. The way in which he was engaging the strikes was much cleaner and much slicker due to the fact that he was feinting his way in. He was showing Jamal Hill a lot, getting in and getting out, which I thought was awesome. I thought his pull counter was tremendous against Jamal Hill, and just looked much improved.
I think if he's able to look like this against a guy like Pereira, and just something that he did say that he did change a little bit, is keeping his hands up just a little bit more with a little bit of distance. Yuri's a problem, man. His brain power, bro. His ability to just weather through pain is absolutely ridiculous.
You can say what you want about Jiri, but his awkwardness is difficult to deal with. And you saw, how many times did you see Jamal Hill touching air?
Yeah.
He missed so many shots. He threw a lot, and man, he missed a lot. And it put him out of position. And that was actually how Jiri ended up with the second knockdown, was based upon him missing big time and being out of position and getting hit.
The slipping and the ripping, the head movement from Jiri Prochazka was so quick, and some beautiful combinations. One thing I saw that he'd been working on for sure was throwing, and then he would dip and roll under every time and then go again. He did that several times, found the mark, dropped Jamal in the third round, followed up, got the stoppage at 3 minutes, 1 second in the third round. Now, of course, all he wants is another rematch against Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, it was announced, will be fighting Magomed Ankalaev in March in Las Vegas. And you never know, maybe Jiri gets the winner.
If I've got a magic wand and I can give my son the skills of one of those two, even now I give him Yuri's skills. The way that Jiri can fight like a martial artist, maybe a karate guy, and then he can switch right into a boxer, and he can go southpaw at range, and he can go inside as orthodox. He's an amazing fighter. He's an amazing competitor. He's not going to get over on Pereira, and he's not going to be given the opportunity to try. Not only when you fail once, but when you fail twice, and they're both collectively less than 15 minutes, it's just nobody's a good enough storyteller to make that happen. Now, of course, if Prochazka keeps doing what he's doing and Alex decides to stay in the division, but see, that's where the wrinkle comes. If Alex gets by Ankalaev, whether he beats him or he doesn't, see, it doesn't matter if he doesn't. Whether he beats him or he doesn't, he's going to leave the division. That's my belief.
I think Jiri is very awkward, and he possesses this ability to move in a way that people don't see. I don't think I've ever seen the guy train in a traditional gym on Instagram. Obviously, I don't go to his page and stuff, but I always see clips of him doing something crazy, either backwards, doing something on the treadmill, in the woods, or out in the mountains. And I'm just like, does this guy ever go to the actual gym and train? But obviously jokingly, I would imagine that he does, hopefully.
And this is why people love this sport so much. This is why people adore this sport so much, for characters like Jiri who take us on this ride, because there is no one like him in sports, right? The spirit, the intensity, the way he speaks, and then the story with the cancer patient who is inspired by him, and he flies her out and he cuts his hair, and then he just makes you want to run through a wall and root for the guy. Remember when he was in studio talking about the hair?
Yeah.
And how much the hair means to him? It's an antenna. For him to cut that off before a fight on fight week is a pretty massive deal. And then he goes out there and the walkout, and he's staring, and they're staring at each other, and this is what he does to Jamal Hill. Absolutely amazing. What a character.
I'm just happy that I did a good work. What I'm working on, like all the preparation on some. All the time I'm talking about upgrades, about to make a step up, and I felt that like now it's worked. Still a lot of work before me, on my way, but I really feel like with this attitude, I can go to the top and stay there.
I thought Jiri was just like kind of retarded and just kind of just went out there and fought dumb. But no, there's a little bit of method to his madness. Like he moves his head, and look, if I was somebody that like on the backside was looking at Dominic Cruz, I'm like, man, this guy's just dumb, like doing weird movements, acting stupid, and there's no rhythm and rhyme to it. But then you look at what Dominic Cruz has achieved in his career, and you're like, this guy
Obviously, he's not.
He's
quite that
obviously
dumb.
not just dumb.
The thing that drove me nuts about Jiri is not that he wasn't mentally tough. It was not that he wasn't a good athlete. It was not that he couldn't win fights, even when, you know, with some of the issues he was experiencing. But that he was underperforming because he wasn't taking defense seriously. He just didn't have defense. And fans are like, oh, we love him for it. No. You can take if you transform a guy's style into something he's not, yes, you will get a lesser version of them. But there are degrees of improvement that you can introduce into a guy's game without really transforming their style. You're just tightening it up. And lo and behold, look at the results when you get that with Jiri.
What's cool is he's retained his style, his unorthodox approach, but has improved on a technical level. And that is very important. You have to stay true to yourself and where your strengths lie, but also make those technical improvements and be honest with yourself and say, what am I doing wrong? And Prochazka clearly has been analyzing that, has been looking where he's been going wrong, and has made very good improvements. Now, if you want to beat a guy like Alex Pereira, he may need much more of that. But the fact that he's going in this direction is a very positive sign.
Jiri, I wanted to see how he looks because I wasn't sure if he was going to go on a bit of a skid because he has took a couple of bad losses lately. And I didn't know where he was at mentally and where his faculties at after you take two massive knockout losses like that. But looked better than ever, in my opinion. He went out there, executed the perfect game plan of making a power punch and miss. Because Jamal loads up on his punches a lot. He's got a lot of power in his hands. He's throwing heat most of the punch. He's not throwing many soft punches. There's not a lot of setup there with him. He's just going out there and swinging and trying to knock you out, which is amazing to watch. But Jiri took a little bit more of a tactical approach to this one, in my opinion, where he didn't go out there just going for the kill the whole time. He was thinking defense first and counter second, which was fantastic.
After the long preparation, really long preparation since my last fight, so almost 6 months, me and my team, we took that preparation very seriously. So I'm happy that I showed some little improvement with the hands up and but still I believe in my feeling of my head movement and of the feeling of the distance. So this is my game.
Even though Alex Pereira was the only man to have beaten him in the octagon coming into this fight, there was a lot on this fight for both men, and this is a huge win for Jiri Prochazka because it actually does open up the Alex Pereira fight or a Magomed Ankalaev fight, you know? And there was a time not all that long ago when Prochazka was talking about middleweights.
I think Jiri, he said that he wanted to do a better job of keeping his hands up. He didn't. He was still had his hands down in close, but he's got great like head movement, and he even said it after the fight. He goes, I wanted to try to keep my hands up more. I have to watch the fight. I don't know if I did that. I'm like, well, Jiri, I got an answer for you. Your hands are right at your waist, even though you and Jamal were chest to chest. But he's got such great eyes, right? He's got such great eyes that he has the ability to avoid punches. But that is why he struggles with Pereira, because of his split stance, that martial arts stance. Pereira kicks his legs. Once he kicks his legs and slows him down, then Jiri has to stand in front of him. Once Jiri's standing in front of him, as we both know, if Pereira can land, it knocks you out, especially if your hands are down. Jiri hadn't shown those improvements to me yet, but maybe he'll do it when he fights Alex. But again, it's going to take him continuing to win, continuing to be great fighters and former champions, and then he'll find himself with an opportunity. Because if Pereira gets through Ankalaev, who's next?
You know, Jiri Prochazka can either fight Juan Blachowicz, and the winner of that will fight the winner of Alex Pereira taking on Ankalaev, or does Jiri Prochazka wait for the winner of that and then he gets to fight for the title? It could be a rematch or it could be fighting Ankalaev.